Parashat Shemini, 8, describes the consecration ceremony for the tabernacle, which took place after 7 days of preparations. That was also the day that saw the awesome tragedy of Nadav and Avihu, the sons of Aaron, who died for the grievous sin of bringing so-called strange fire to the Lord. Moses' words to Aaron, accounting for his son's punishment, accented God's request that those closest to him be holy and be disciplined in seeking holiness before the Lord. The request was made not only of the priests, but of all of the people of Israel, about whom God says in Exodus, you should be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. How does a nation become holy? As God commands. The command, quote, you shall sanctify yourself and be holy, for I am holy. What are the characteristics of various kinds of animals to do with holiness? What is making them considered unclean? How does obeying prohibition regarding animals convey a measure of holiness? Avner Moriah's painting is a figural template consisting of 8 rows with 5 animals in each row, and read from right to left and top to bottom. It corresponds to a list of forbidden animals in the biblical text. The top row represents animals that walk on land and are mentioned by name, as they either do not have cloven feet or do not chew their cud. Thus, we see a camel, a demon, a hare, and a wild pig. The 5th animal in the first row belongs to the group of forbidden aquatic creatures, for which the criterion for distinguishing between clean and unclean is the possession of fins and scales. There are 2 more water creatures in the 2nd row, apparently a shellfish and a shark, neither of which has both fins and scales. Images of bird-like creatures for which there is no general category defining them as unclean finishes the 2nd row and fills the next 4. The following, as it says, you shall abominate among the birds. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The names appear in the biblical text as the eagle, the vulture, the black vulture, the kite, the falcon, the raven, the ostrich, and night owl, the seagull, the hawk, the small owl, etc. We see that the stork is also in this list, and the heron, the hoopoe, and the bat. Insects, reptiles, and rodents are forbidden. They appear next to quotation, the swarming things that swarm upon the earth, the mole, the mouse, the great lizard after its kind, the gecko, and the land crocodile, all mentioned in also Leviticus 11. Visualizing all the animals mentioned by name in Leviticus 11, and the poster that discloses their identities, the artist is suggesting the need to review these creatures and to know not to eat them or even not to touch them after they have perished. By learning and accepting the rules that God gave to the priests to, quote, distinguish between the sacred and the profane, and between the clean and unclean, the Israelites came to understand their obligation to imitate their priests and their God and to live with a sense of holiness. It is difficult to comprehend the rationale behind the entire given list of unclean creatures, but apparently the simple enumeration of such lists was designed to guide the Israelites towards discipline discipline existence that would imitate the holiness of God. As we read at the conclusion of Leviticus 11, quote, "For I am the Lord your God. You shall sanctify yourself and be holy, for I am holy."